with James Bone Crusher with Tyson. If you recall in the last round, Bone Crusher hit Tyson and shook him, but that was the only punch he threw, unfortunately. Truth about it, it was a little boring. He then became the former chairman of the New York Athletic Commission. He's been inducted into the New Jersey and New York Hall of Fame. And currently, you gotta listen to your radios, especially if you got Sirius. He does the blow-by-blow announcing a boxing Sirius XM. He is the co-host with Jerry Cooney from 6 to 8 o'clock every Monday and Friday on channel 93. He just finished writing a book, and I can't wait to get it because I love to read books. And the name of the book is called The Glove Affair, and which will be out early at the beginning of the year. And surprisingly enough, he's back to managing. He just took over the heavyweight, super heavyweight champion of the Golden Gloves this year. And Mike Polite Coffee. That's the name of the fighter, so we have to look carefully at that fighter because he's going to be managing him. Now I'd like to get him up here and say a few words. I'm sure he won't be lost for any. He's one of the best guys I know. Randy Gordon, Commish.
Thank you, Eddie. I just want to give a few shout outs to, listen, Matt gave all the names of the guys that I wanted to mention, but I also want to mention a very special thank you to one of the top referees in the country, Ron Lipton, who worked last night hours away upstate New York. Ron has driven here to be with us today. Ron, thank you. A young man by the name of Matt Happany, who's one of the top trainers in the game. He's training my heavyweight, Mike Polite Coffee, who just met Deontay Wilder the other day. My guy is about 6'6", 275, and Deontay looked over at me and said, "Who the hell are you with? Is that Zeus?" And it looks like Big Mike is going to be sparring with Deontay in preparation for his next fight. I want to thank John Signorelli, Commissioner John Signorelli. I think you're over in the back, from the New York State Athletic Commission, because with his guidance, if the New York State Athletic Commission listens to him, they'll be able to resurrect themselves. I want to thank two people in Hollywood, Holt McCallany and Danny Aiello, for your long-standing love of boxing and support of this sport. You love boxing and we love you guys. Danny and Holt, thank you so much. And of course, you see her on Facebook, and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday I do my Randy's Ringside. And when I'm on Sirius XM Radio, I talk about my beloved wife. I call her Queen Ronnie. She is my queen because she allows me, she has become this boxing widow. She knows what it's like. And for years, she's put up with me. Queen Ronnie and her, you know, they sing songs about mother-in-law. Mother-in-law, the best mother-in-law on the planet, Mama Kay. So, you know, I spoke to, when I became commissioner back in the late 80s, two of my closest friends were commissioners from Nevada, Mark Ratner, and then my next door neighbor, Commissioner Larry Hazard. And right away, and I knew it was going to be a tough job, but with those guys at my side, I loved every second of it. Somebody told me that it was a very tough job. Being commissioner was an easy job. The tough part was being out of being commissioner. And I'll show you something I think you'll like. The day that I left the office in 1995, Governor George Pataki, and there may be some supporters of George, I doubt it though, said, "I want my badge back." And I said, "You got my job. You can't have my badge. I'm still the commish." It was quite a run as commissioner in New York, and I followed a guy by the name of Jose Torres, and that's what this award is all about. And first, let me tell you, of all the awards being given out today, there are 5 awards being given out. The Steve Beloy Award, the Burt Sugar Award, the Wayne Kelly Award, the Steve Akunto Award, and the Jose Torres Award, which I'm getting. The Burt Sugar Award, I worked side by side. I lived with Burt Sugar for 5 years while he was publisher of the Ring magazine, and I was his editor. I am not going to try to talk over you. I'll just sit down and thank you. Steve Farhood is a very deserving man for the Burt Sugar Award, and we wish him all speedy recovery with his hip surgery. The Steve Beloy Award is going to Joey Giambra, who, if it wasn't for guys like Joey Giambra, there was a little teenager in me watching Don Dunphy on Friday nights call fights with Joey Giambra. I knew watching back in the early 60s, watching Joey Giambra, that I wanted to be in boxing full time with all of you. Joey, thank you so much for being Joey Giambra. Then there's the Wayne Kelly Award, which was picked up by Larry Hazard. And Larry said a lot about Wayne Kelly. But let me tell you, when I became commissioner, the first thing I did on the first day on my job was made Wayne Kelly a referee. I then picked up the phone and I called Commissioner Hazard. And I said, "I want you to watch Wayne Kelly." And Larry started to come from Jersey to a lot of the fights in New York, and he realized Wayne Kelly was one hell of a ref. And it was a few years later, in one of the first title fights he ever did, Wayne Kelly was given an assignment in Atlantic City by Commissioner Hazard. And Wayne never forgot that and absolutely loved Larry. And he said, "I see why you love Commissioner Hazard." And to this day, Commissioner Hazard is one of my very favorite people I've ever met in boxing. And the two of us used to go around the country and give referees and judges seminars. Can anybody tell me why referees today cannot referee? Can anybody tell me why judges today cannot judge? We saw a score of 118-110 last week. I have no clue what the judge was looking at. In the Manny Pacquiao fight in Australia several months ago, the referee continually allowed Jeff Horn to rabbit punch. We see this all the time. You never saw it when the Hall of Famer Larry Hazard was in the ring. I want more referees. There'll never be another Larry Hazard, but I want to try to get that Larry Hazard. I want judges who know what they're watching. And I'm not going to stop yelling about it, and you shouldn't stop yelling about it. Because we need judges that know what they're looking at. The judges hold the livelihood of the fighters in their hand. The referees hold the life of the fighter in their hand. And part of the Renaissance Award, and one of the things I loved about Jose Torres, he was a fighter, he was a champion, he was a writer, he was a politician, and he was the man I followed at the New York State Athletic Commission. He always pushed for change. I'm looking for change for the better, because we know we have the best sport in the world. This has been one of the best years boxing has ever had, but yet every time there's a big fight, we have a problem with the judging. Yesterday there was a heavyweight championship fight. Two of the scores were 118, 110. Another score was 114 even. What was C.J. Ross, Adelaide Bird, and Eugenia Williams scoring the fight? Do they know what they're looking at? It is time that the judging change in the United States and around the world. Boxing is the best sport in the world, and we are going to prove that it's the best in the world. When you see something wrong with your commission, with a judge, with a ref, let that commission know. Changes will be made. I want to thank Ring 10. You guys are an unbelievable organization. And Matt Ferrago, I'll say this, it was about 2 years ago, I called Matt Ferrago and I said, a dear friend of mine, Olympic champion Howard Davis, has stage 4 lung cancer. I don't know if you can perhaps get a couple $100 to him, a couple $100. Ring 10 virtually emptied their bank account trying to get him better. Ring 10 is the best organization of ex-fighters on this planet. Matt, I love Ring 10.
We follow that. We follow every honoree with a flag that we're gonna have signed. So, $50 right now. We're gonna do this quick. I'm not gonna do this ongoing. I got $50 for Randy. I got $50. I got $50 for. I got 75, 75, 75. I got 100. I got 100 and a quarter. 100 and a quarter. 150. 150 going once. 175. This is signed by Randy. 200.
Oh, killing. 200.
Let's cut it off. 200. Waspy, you're good. Johnny Z, you got that. Johnny Zergos, you got it.
Thank you.
Waspy, Waspy right there. Where's somebody? Do I have any? Veronica Elson, I am so sorry, I bypassed this. When I did my whole speech about Ray Nelson, I was hoping to present this to him in person in his wheelchair. Shh. We got a break coming up, honestly.